wish you could store information in Python using labels like name, age, or city? That's exactly what dictionaries do. And they make your code so much cleaner and easier to manage. Today, we are going to learn one of the most powerful data types of Python. Hello, learners. Welcome to your learning hub, the Learning Loop. I am Swati Sharma, and this is the 16th video of my beginner friendly Python course series. And if you're joining me for the first time, thank you for dropping by. And do not forget to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you do not miss out on any future videos. And if you're just beginning your Python journey, I will highly recommend you to go back and check the previous videos out so that you are all caught up. Let's quickly dive into our today's topic, dictionaries or the mapping data types. So, without a further ado, let's dive in. Let's quickly understand what are dictionaries. Think of dictionaries as a container that stores data in key value pairs. Key is like a label, and value is the information associated with that label. For example, in this case, name is a key and Swati is a value. Same ways here, age is a key and 28 is a value. This makes dictionaries perfect when you want to organize and access data using meaningful labels instead of position numbers. Now let's explore what exactly dictionaries do. They allow us to store multiple pieces of information together and access any one of them using the key. So instead of remembering the position numbers like we did in list or tuples, we can call them by values, which makes it super simple and super useful. Let's look at how we can create dictionaries in Python. Alright, today we are going to look at our sample code in Google Colab. So let's first see dictionary, common syntax of a dictionary, that's dictionary with values. So I will, let's say, declare a variable person and then I'll give the curly brackets. I'm just now going to hit enter for a better syntax. And on the left, I will give the key and then on the right, I will give the value. Let's say the very first key I have given is name and the value I have given is Swati. So if you want to store multiple key value pairs, you separate them by comma. So I just put comma here and now I can declare another key value pair. So let's say I write 30, comma, and then let's say I want another key value pair. So that's why I put comma there. And you can declare as many you want. So I'll say Gurugram. And let's also try and print that and hit run. And you can see it has declared the dictionary here. If you want, you can also check the type of this variable. Let's check that, print type person, and I'll hit enter. And then you can see the class is ticked, which means it's of a dictionary data type. It's very easy to declare an empty dictionary. You just do, right, let's declare a variable empty dictionary and is equal to, and I'm going to just declare that print, and let's also check at the type empty dictionary and let's hit run. It's very easy. You just give the empty curly brackets and it will declare it as an empty dictionary. Let's also quickly go over the third way of creating dictionaries, that is using the dict constructor. So let's say I give the variable dog and then I'll give the keyword dict. Now I enclose the key value pairs within the round brackets and then I'll give the key without any quotes, and then write the name, the value here. And to have another key value pair, I separate them with comma, and let's say age is equal to 2. And let's just print this particular variable, and you will see this has been created as a dictionary. Now let's understand how we can access the values from dictionaries. Let's check the very first method to access the values from dictionaries, that is using square brackets. Whichever method we are using, we will be giving the keys here in order to extract the values from it, or in order to check what value is stored in that key. So I'll be using this variable person in my example. So let's say I want to see what value is stored in the key or label name. So what I would do, I would use person, that's the variable, give the square brackets, and then give the key name, that's name, and I'll run it, and you can see it returns the value that is associated with this particular key, that's Swati. However, if you try to give a key that is not existing for that particular dictionary or for that variable, it will return a key error. So let's say I say year, that's not existing there. I'm just using any key randomly, and you can see it gives me a key error. We can also get the or access the values from the dictionaries using the .get built-in function. So I'm using the same variable, that's person .get, and again here I would give the key whose value I want to check. You can see it returned the name Swati. However, it is little different from square brackets, that if I try to access any key whose value or that does not exist, or whose value does not exist, it would give me a none value, or nothing. You can see it ran, but it gave me no output for this. It will not crash my program, or it would not give any error. We can also do this, that if in case, let's say, I will say if this key does not exist, or if this there is no value for this key, just return some default value. So if I put comma and give some value here, that would be taken as a default value. That would mean when I'm trying to access that particular key and or check or access the value, and that value does not exist in that particular dictionary or variable, then return this default value. So if I run it, you can see this key year I has not defined in my variable person. So I gave the default value for that, saying that if that does not exist, or the value for this key does not exist, just return the default value. And that's exactly what it did. Let's quickly also go over how we can add or update the values in dictionaries. Let's first see how we can update a value. So let's say if I use variable person, let's just first run this to have what we have in that particular variable. Let's say I want to change the name. So I would actually give the key for which I want to change the value, and then I would just do is equal to, and then the value that I want to store. Let's say I want to change it to Usha. And let's also have the output once I have run it. And you can see the name now has been changed from Swati to Usha. Now let's see how we can add the key value pair to the dictionary, the existing dictionary. So let's say I say person, and then I do year because that was not there, and I'll say 2025. So what I did, I gave the key on the left and then assigned the value to it. Now because you can see the year key doesn't exist anywhere in our current scenario. So it will go ahead and add that as a key value pair. So I'm also trying to get the output, and you can see year has been added as a key value pair. Now let's quickly go over some of the most commonly used methods or built-in functions that we use with dictionaries. We already have covered one of the built-in function, that is .get, so I am not going to cover that again. The next built-in function that we want to cover is .update, which will add or update the values or multiple values in a single step. Let's use our second variable, that's dog, for this example. So let's try and update it. So I'll write dog dot update, and then I'm trying to update, let's say, name, and I will change it to, let's say, Luna. And let's say I will give a key that is not existing right now in the variable dog, so that you can see it is getting added. Let's say city, and I'll change it to, or I'll give the value as Mumbai. Let's try and get the output as well. And you can see the name has been changed to Luna, and the city has been added, and all has been done in one single step. So you can use this if you want to change or update multiple values, or you want to add multiple key value pairs. You can use the .update built-in function. The next one is .keys. Now this is used to get a list of all the keys that are being used in that particular variable or in that dictionary. So you can see it gave the list of all the keys that we are using currently in a dog variable. That's name, age, and city. Same ways, values, dot values would give the list of all the values that we have in that variable. It should be dark. I would run it, and you can see it gave us all the values that are there in the dog variable. Dot items would actually give us the key value pair, all the key value pairs that are there in that variable. So let's just run it. You can see it gave us all the key value pairs, name Luna, age 2, and you can also see city Mumbai. So if you want to remove any particular key, you can use the built-in function .pop. So let's say I want to remove city from the dog variable. So I'm just going to give the key that I want to remove. So let's also fetch the output here. And you can see the city has been removed from the variable. And let's say I want to remove all the items from the dictionary. I would use .clear. Let's say dog.clear, and also let's get the output. I will run it, and you would see it returned us the empty dictionary because I used .clear built-in function, which removed all the key value pairs from that particular dictionary. With this, we come to the end of this video, and we have completed the dictionary or mapping data types. In the very next video, we will cover the bit array data types. That's the very last data type of Python. And then we will start the new topic, operators. That's it for today, guys. If you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Instagram for daily Python tips. I'll see you guys in next video. Until then, happy coding!